Cameras rolling. What's going on, y'all? My name is JayPluss from the Right Mind Podcast. As always, let's get the announcements, all that crazy stuff out of the way. I just want to say God bless everybody. Shout out to MOCG, the team. Shout out to L.Y.F E, Krispy. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to grab any merch for the podcast, as well as any Have More Faith merch, as well as check out For His Glory. If you go to the website right now, you can use promo code J_FaithOfficial, get 15% off. We are super excited to have you guys here with our guest, JayPluss. JayPluss, what's going on, man? How's everything? What's some updates that you got going on for the people?
Everything's good right now. Just, been working on my website, rebranding that, working on my local hip-hop events Instagram, and then just working with artists on new music, just putting out, more projects.
Hey, we also got L.Y.F E in the building. What's up, man?
What's up? What's
going on?
Yeah, so I've got an album coming. Hopefully, well, actually, yeah, it is coming next month. I'm just waiting on the next, my last mix and master. I've got a song dropping the 28th, Too Much Pain. Make sure you check all of that out. The album is called More Than Life.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So be sure to check out this episode 143 with JayPluss. What's up?
You can never tell me. You can never tell me I won't rise.
All right, cool. All right, we're good.
Cool.
All right, man. How's everybody doing? What's going on? It's been a minute. I feel like it's been a minute since we potted. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen you guys. What's happening?
It's been a minute since I've seen you. I think the main last time that I seen you was the wedding. I think that was really which was very, it was interesting, but
listen, to me, it's still very surreal to like think back and be like, bro, you officiated like a whole wedding,
right?
Like putting all of that together, like going back and forth with Mia and you guys and trying to figure out like the script and everything else that was happening. I was like, I can't believe this is real. Because you only see, like, to me, you only see those kind of things like in movies where, they're like trying to get it last second and they're like, yo, go online real quick and like do the quick, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, I can officiate weddings. And you're like, dude, you're like, who are you?
No, that's true. It is.
Right.
Now that I think about it, because I think during the time that everything was going on, we were just like, well, we want to get, we want to get the DJ, we want to get the host, we had everybody in mind. And then Mia was kind of thinking more about like the officiating side and that stuff. And you came up and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. That would be like, that's a great idea. Like, cause we wanted you to be there, and like, it made it even better that you weren't just like a guest, but like literally like just right there behind like the whole thing. So that was amazing. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate that. That was like truly a blessing for me, and just being a part of that experience, especially knowing you guys for so long, and I just appreciate the opportunity. Especially, it's definitely something I'll hold in my heart for a while to, know that I was a part of, and could like bring something so great together.
Yeah.
So,
no, we appreciate it. The whole event. I mean, the wedding, but it's an event. Was fun, just because not only, like I said, we had friends there. We had people. It wasn't like we just hired random people to do random things. We had actual people who we've known for so long actually get to be a part of the wedding. Like you, for example, and that was your first one, right? Officially. Yeah. Have you done any since then?
No. I don't know. Maybe it's the only one, and you guys are like the one couple that'll get to hold on to that and like the first championship, whatever, But I like what you said. I mean, having, hiring, people that versus kind of outsiders. I think it makes it more personal for you guys. Definitely. When you have like those close people versus like, those companies that come in and they're just there to
who like know nothing about you, and like if they like go up to say something, it's meaningless. You know what I mean? It's much more meaningful to have people that know you, that have known you for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We really didn't want strangers. We really.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. Too.
Yeah, we wanted. Yeah, we like, and it just worked out, being in like the music industry and stuff, and knowing like DJs and hosts. We had Slip Wax, we had PSA hosting.
You could have picked a better host.
Yeah. And we tried to get Sando to do video, but his schedule just didn't work. But we had Wazi Shoots, who is someone that I've worked with, for years. So it was good to have him there too. So just another, friend to just, be a part of it.
Yeah. Again, it's you have those people. Like I've been to a few weddings. First one that I've officiated, but you just there's just a different vibe when it's not people. There's just a lot of like unknown people, if you will. It's
Right.
like from. You got the wedding planner like running around trying to like tell you what to do, and you got the servers. I mean, I think you had the servers from the thing.
I believe we did, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm rambling on, but
No.
I just think it definitely felt like I don't know. It felt like a better moment having just like people like again, like I walked in a room like seeing PSA, seeing Slip Wax. I'm like, oh man, I know him.
Right.
Like everybody that has a hand in everything is like people that
Yeah.
versus just random people. It was cool.
Yeah, I wanted to make it
enjoyed
like a team of people I actually knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only two weddings I had been to before that were two of my cousins who are much older, and I was maybe 18, 20 range at that time. And at that time I wasn't, thinking about marriage, thinking about weddings. And like, so I didn't actually look around and see what was even going on, like I'm just there to, eat and whatever's going on, I'm just there because I have to be there.
Yeah.
So I had no wedding of like any friends or anything like, in the last few years before that to be like, okay, this is what we need to do. Like I was just like, she's got, Mia will tell me what to do, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. How's married life been for you guys so far?
No. It's the same. I don't feel any different. I feel like people say that like, oh, you're married now, things change. No, like we've been a team, for over 8 years now. Like everything we do, like she's very supportive and helping my career, everything I do with music, and I try to help her with anything she ever needs. So we've there's been no noticeable change. We live together now, which we were about to live together before that, and spent most of our time together anyways. So it's the same. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel that. Yeah, it's kind of with me and Ashley. I mean, we've known each other since high school.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, let's just do the thing, not, and I don't say that loosely, like, let's just, maybe just get married, like, we take it very seriously, and I'm sure you guys do as well.
Oh, yeah,
but, it was like, we were already living together, again, we had known each other forever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, the ring popped on and then everything like magically shifted and like, the world changed and, life got better or worse. It actually got
There was no hail anymore,
Yeah. No, it got a little rough.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think for us, and I'm not wishing any negativity on you guys.
I hope.
No. Never that. I pray for good things. But for us, I mean, I think we needed it because it helped show us that like we could basically get through anything.
Okay.
If we can get through these tough times, the times that we went through, especially when it comes to money, which, as you've seen, you see in reports and stuff, like part of the number one killer of marriages is like finances. So that was one of the things that, we were struggling with in just like where we were living, our incomes. I'm working, she's not, she's working, I'm not, and being able to be like, yeah, we're going through these things, but we still want to keep strong with this, and we see the other side to this. We just gotta like stay together and push it, because sometimes people are just like, that's it, I'm out, like don't care, gloves are off, like I'm moving out. But you just gotta keep fighting,
And like it's better if you've been together for a long time rather than like being together for like 6 months to a year. You're already like living together, already getting married. Like sometimes people rush into it and it never works out. Sometimes it does, but I mean, it's much better if you've known each other for a while.
Yeah.
You've been together for a while.
yeah, like and me and Mia, we've had this dynamic where like I said, we've been together over 8 years, and there's been times when, you know, like financially I was able to, you know, not work and, you know, just spend time on music, and, you know, she would have her job, and like, you know, right now, you know, with, you know, being pregnant and everything, you know, and I know I don't know if we spoke about that on the air yet, but you know, she's able to take some time off from work, and, you know, I'm working now and stuff, but we've never had like any issues with that, you know, where we just, you know, just work together so well in so many ways.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have always been a thing. Like, as long as I've known you guys, you know, Jay shows up. Like, you know, Mia's there. If Mia's there, Jay is there. You know, it's like you guys always went hand in hand, and you always just like matched so well. You know what I mean?
Right,
and
yeah.
so, you know, and that's cool. And I think again, that's another point of like what marriage is that like sometimes the other person isn't always 100%, but being their counterpart, like you can fill that gap until they're cool, and then, you know, when you're not 100%, like Mia fills that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, it's the better half.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's, you know, that's, you know, it's great to see that you guys are doing that, and that, you know, that's working and stuff. You know what I mean? That's very powerful in a marriage, because some people are like, oh, well, they're only giving me 50%. Like, I need 100 all the time.
yeah.
You know, and it's like, I can't be 100% for 5 minutes half of the time, let alone a whole day, like, you know, a whole week. Like, sometimes I'm at a 50%. Sometimes I'm at a 20, and I just need you to hold me up for a little bit,
Right.
and lift me back up, you know, in certain moments. So
Definitely.
no, that's cool, man. I'm glad you guys are doing well.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Everything's good. Can't complain there.
Word. Life, how's everything going, man? How's the 2 weeks off been?
It's been great, man. You know, I've finally been able to relax. You know what I mean? Jay be pushing me soon. No, I'm kidding.
He's like, I finally get to work on some freaking music, man.
God,
This guy's
man.
always got me.
Holding me hostage. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, it's been good. I've been making a big push. I've been just trying to wrap up my album. Me and Michael Murphy III are trying to wrap up ours as well. So, I mean, I already have like the next album after the one that's coming out. Like, I already have like 10 songs going toward that too. So, just trying to make a big push.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was like talking to the group in our group text, and I was like, hey guys, like, you know, I have this idea for this thing or whatever. And then, you know, we started talking about it, and Life's like, yeah, so I got like this project, and then after that I got this project. I'm like, dude, this dude's cooking right now. Like, let the man cook. Like, he's cruising along.
Which is
like,
the reason why I haven't responded today. You know, that's what
yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to say.
Staying
No,
in
for
the
sure.
zone. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
nah,
awesome.
what have I been up to? I was just in DC last
yeah?
week. Super cool. Long story less long, just, you know, allowing teens to have their voice be heard in front of some really important people to hopefully make a lot of important changes, or at least get it out in the open for people to hear. There were some things that people were like, I had no idea that was even a thing. So it's cool. And it wasn't just like the main people that we were trying to talk to. There were like guest people that were in the room as the kids were practicing, and they were able to, again, share their insights on just how not like that we're running bad programs, but just like rules and like, literally legislation on how the programs are being run, because they're government programs, realistically. You know, and trying to make those changes. So like there were a lot of people that were like, yeah, like I didn't even know that was a thing that was like actually happening, or that was a law,
Right. Yeah.
type of thing.
There's
So
a lot of laws.
yeah, for sure. Like to give you to kind of not be so cryptic. So there's programs called the CDC, which is Child Development Center. They're like infants to like pre-K.
Okay.
That's like childcare. And then there's the school age program, which is theoretically it's kindergarten until you're 12 years old. After 12, you cap out, and then you would essentially have to come to my program, which is the 9 to the 18-year-olds. So the first two, they have to be open. They have to provide care. They have to be open.
Okay.
So if they're short-staffed, I have to leave my building. My building potentially could shut down if there's not enough staff to be in the building to go help them.
Oh wow.
So the issue that was happening, there was 3 main issues that they talked about, but this was the big one for me. The issue that's happening is that, so we're closing, but then like, where do all the teens go? Where do our kids go that maybe aren't registered for those other programs? Well, now they're pushed to the side. And it's like, wait. Like, just because I'm 13 and like technically I can go home, that doesn't mean that, you know, I should just be able to go fend for myself. Like, there's programs and stuff that we run that is beneficial for teens as they're about to graduate high school and get into college that they need. And then when you shut the doors on them, they lose those life skills, the college stuff, the career stuff. And the kids are like, dude, what the heck? Like, why you have mandates for those other 2 programs to be open. You have mandates for spouses. You have mandates for airmen. But there's nothing for teens that's mandated that has to be. And the kids are like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why do we get the short end of the stick? So that was one of the bigger topics that they, you know, wanted to bring up. But it was just great to be able to be in that space and see them be able to speak their minds and have the right people heard. Went to the Pentagon, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, security is nuts in there.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
Yeah,
like,
there was like a pre-form that we had to do. There was obviously a security check-in when we got there.
yeah.
Like, no pictures, like, can't take your phone out, like,
Oh,
nothing, like, none of that stuff. But the place is huge. But it's like a mall.
Really?
Theoretically. It's like a mall with offices.
Oh my God.
But they're jam-packed in there. I was looking in some of the cubicles as we were walking, and I'm not, like, giving, like, any top secret. Maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
Maybe the government will bleep this out.
Yeah,
if
they're
they
gonna
heard
crash in
Pentagon.
any second right now.
FBI, open up. I was looking at some of the cubicles, and there was like 5 people per cubicle.
What?
But it was literally like seat, like in a U shape.
Yeah.
And literally every angle had a computer. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't work like this.
No.
I don't know how y'all
Are they
do.
like elbow to elbow?
Almost.
Oh my God.
Almost. I was like, yo, I'd be sick of y'all
Yeah.
so fast. And then you got like the big
Yo,
wigs.
I would punch my coworkers out in like a week. I'd be like, I'm out here. I
100%.
can't do
I
this
hope
anymore.
it's air conditioned in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it wasn't bad in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was literally a mall with cubicles. It was weird. And then like a mall, monuments, and like displays and artwork and cubicles. And then you have like the big wigs who just have their giant offices to themselves. And I'm like, you guys. I see what you did there.
They're in there doing like stretches, just showing off.
Yeah. They're like, oh, where am I going to put this plaque today? Which wall am I going to put this one on? But yeah, I mean, they treated us well too. We did like a monument tour. What else? Monument tour. We went to a Nationals game.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Food took forever. So y'all
yeah.
need to fix that. That's definitely one feedback that I would give to the Nationals ballpark. It took 20 minutes for a burger.
What?
Yeah, that's insane.
It was I was like, I've never in my life, like Fenway, it's like burgers.
Yeah.
Like you're grabbing them off the shelves. It took forever. Missed like half the game. Like just waiting for food.
Were the prices crazy?
I mean, standard burger was $16.
Yeah.
Fries were $8.
Oh my god.
I was like, just give me a water. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
which
not
is
even-
like probably $7 though.
Yeah. Oh, it was insane. So yeah, like your standard ballpark prices.
The water's probably $10. Damn.
Yeah.
No, seriously. We went to Arlington Cemetery. We saw the tomb of the unknown soldier. We saw the changing of the guard for that, which is actually a process and a half. I'll show you guys off here. It's like a process and a half. So yeah, it was cool. It was a long week. We were up at 7, and then we went to bed at 11, and then we woke up and we did it all over again.
Nice.
Every single day for a week.
Wow.
But it was worth it. It was
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
worth it.
yeah. It's
Totally
a
worth
one
it.
in a lifetime.
Yeah,
type of thing.
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping this is the first time that they've done it since 2014.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
this type
so-
of event where they brought people together like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that they're able to continue it like next year. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
not once in a lifetime. Maybe every year.
yeah. Well, I mean it's been to 20. What is that? 11
yeah.
years.
Yeah,
You know, like they started it and then just I don't know. It just kind of fell off, and then they were like, no, like we need to get this back. So let's figure out what to do. And they made it happen because they were getting a lot of no's. to like bring people. So it was cool to get the final yes, and to have it. And it was worth it for sure. For sure. Let's see what else we got. So I was like scrolling a little bit. You got like designated your own jersey.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I want a jersey. I mean, shout out to Bridgeside.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
For
Yeah.
sure. I know I need to
Bridgeside.
do a little bit more supporting. I apologize, but
I need a baseball jersey.
Yeah.
But that was crazy.
They are super
Yeah.
super dope, and yeah, I was not expecting it. Like I've seen other people have it, and I didn't know if they like had asked, if they want, hey, I want to get one kind of thing. But no, it was at an event recently where Aaron came up to me, Aaron King, and he just was like, "This is for you," and I was like, "Whoa!" Like it had JayPluss on it. I was like, "Wow!" Like, and I thought that was so dope. And, shout out to Aaron King, Just Jill, Gio Da Vinci, all of Bridgeside. Yeah, they're one of my favorite collectives.
sure.
I've been definitely keeping up with them since, I don't know, 2017, 18, maybe somewhere back then.
Yeah.
Just trying to go to as many of the events as I can because I'm a big fan of community events where they're just bringing people, together. They're doing ciphers, which is like one of my favorite things of hip hop, just having people just rapping. And they do stuff outside, which is, really dope. But yeah, seeing their progression and doing things in different areas and different groups of people, like younger crowds now getting involved and stuff and it's really dope. I really do love Bridgeside.
Yeah. Yeah. We just had.
I saw you at the last one.
Exactly,
I was. That was when?
That
like
was
May something.
Yeah, it was probably like a month ago, and
Yeah.
that was at a cool place. That was at like a little arcade type place,
yeah.
Which was dope, and they have the claw machines, just like a Dave and Buster's type thing, but they were had hip hop stuff, so it was really really dope to have that, and but yeah, I saw you there. Yeah, I remember. I was like, oh, shit, what are you doing here? Because I thought it was probably out of your way, but it was dope that you came and you spit on one of the beats too, right?
Yeah.
That's the other thing I like about them is they usually have a segment where like a producer or they have producers send beats to them, and then they'll have like a section where you can pick one, and then they have like a scheduled section where they'll be like, okay, like these guys, if you're on this beat, you're gonna rap to that, and then they film it and they end up putting that content out.
Yeah.
So I've done that for them before. They've used some of my beats for that.
As they should.
Yeah.
But but no, I'm glad that they like to use my beats for that, and they had one there, and there was some really wide group of different people rapping on my beats. We had some older guys and some people I hadn't seen before, but that's the thing I like about them. You get to meet new people who you haven't met before. The first timers came, and just real dope. I like that.
Yeah, I liked hearing their experience. We had we had Just Jill.
Mm-hmm.
We had Sassy on here.
Oh yeah.
We had my memory is really bad, but we had the whole Bridgeside team. We had a whole all girl pod on here.
Oh yeah.
But just beautiful to hear what it is that they do as a collective, and just how supportive they are with each other and just uplifting each other and what they do. And obviously it shows, and and they pay that respect back. I mean, it's like one thing to get the jersey, but to have your name personalized on it is like a whole other, because it's like, I could grab like a J Faith t-shirt from, my merch.
Yeah.
But to be like, yo, let me put some cool logo, like JayPluss logo on the back, and personalize it. That takes a lot of thought and consideration, to do that. So
it's kind of like they were like, okay, you're a part of the team now, which
100%.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I see people with it, and I'm like, how did they earn that? What initiation process was it? And I'm not saying like I was expecting it or felt like I deserved it, but it was just cool to just get that. Like they were, showing, hey, we see you, and we want you to have this. So I was definitely very appreciative to have that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I saw that, I was like, man, but I know I gotta do a little more supporting. Mm-hmm. But their stuff is usually on Fridays, right? No, it's probably Saturdays.
Usually
Saturdays.
It's probably Saturdays. Yeah.
Shout out Bridgeside.
Yeah, shout out Bridgeside for sure. Make sure you pop out Saturdays. Check them out on Instagram. All that fun stuff. Check the schedule.
Yep.
Get out there. Show some support. Whether you're new, old, get in there. Try it out. Do it. I know I got to. I don't freestyle for Jack, but
you can
I need
do,
to.
Yeah, you can do like a written type thing. I mean, you can generally tell. I'm sure, like, you guys, you've been doing this long enough where you can be like, okay, that's not a straight up freestyle, but
Yeah, it's so dope.
Yeah, and one of the other things I actually I like about Bridgeside is, because I've gone to plenty of events over the years, is like when they do their video section, like that one section, and if you mess up, like everybody encourages
do it again.
to do it again. Like
I messed up like 3-4 times,
Yeah,
and I finally got it.
Yeah, they'll just be like, do it again, like go on, like they're not like, they don't just push you away and be like, all right, we can get someone else here to do it better, No, they're very encouraging. And I remember the first time I saw that, and I was like, wow, like that's crazy. Like, I think it was at like Graffiti Alley. No, not Graffiti Alley. It might have been at the skate park, and like someone kept messing up, and like everybody was just like cheering, like, no,
come on.
Yeah, so those are the type of events that I look for in those type of people.
Yeah, those are people you definitely want to be around, like in general, you know what I mean? Because I think those are people that are trying to uplift the hip hop culture,
exactly,
just the music culture in general. It doesn't just have to be about hip hop, because we have singers, R&B artists, you know what I mean? It's rappers, artists, however you want to categorize it.
Right.
And these are people that are like, no, like we want to see everybody get better, to the best of their ability. And feel comfortable and safe enough to do that. Because, I know for me, even doing stuff like that, it's, it's nerve-wracking for me, to get up there and do that. But to know that, like, if you mess up, because I've messed up a lot of shows, and, you get kind of the side eyes, or you hear the people, oh, they don't remember their lyrics, then they're garbage, or they're trash, or they don't take it seriously. And it's like, no, I'm just trying to build and get better. And by you saying those things, it discourages people, and then you never get better.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I don't understand why music isn't getting better. Well, because you keep trashing everybody.
Yeah.
You keep talking down to people instead of being like, hey, I see that you're trying. Maybe try this, or, experiment with this, or try this style, or try this, try that, whatever. Instead of just like kicking people in the back.
Right.
When they're trying.
I'm not trying to open up a whole.
Here we go. You heard it first, right here, right my podcast. It was JayPluss, not us.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
No. But what I was gonna say is, I would much rather hear like an artist, just rapping and mess up and just try to fix it, over someone rapping on their vocals.
I will put the camera on me. We here at the Right Mind Podcast are for people who do not rap on their vocals.
Okay.
I stand here on that platform. I will stand on that ledge
good.
with you. I'm with you guys, not for sure.
Yeah.
Again, I understand certain circumstances, but I
can see part of the song.
Part of it,
like
exactly.
Especially if it's an R&B track. If you're like in a bigger venue, of course, it carries out more, but like like your entire, you know what I mean? Like if you are gonna do it, at least like turn your your main vocal down like 50% or less or more. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like it's much better if you just have like a clean, either just the instrumental or, leave the chorus in, leave the ad libs in, the dubs, and then like if there's any main vocal in it, like maybe like part of it, like a certain section of the song that you wanted to stick out.
I've been very vocal on social media and stuff before about not rapping over vocals. However, there are certain degrees, like you said, it may be a chorus, put it in if, it all depends on your experience level. I think if you're very new to performing live and you're doing an open mic or something and you're very nervous, you don't know, how to perform, then it's kind of okay. But if you're a seasoned artist who is expected to know how to perform and you've done this a million times, then no, I don't want to hear another layer. I want, even if you mess up, I don't care. I'd rather just hear like, the raw, just one, just do it.
Mm-hmm. Like we've said before, it's supposed to be a different experience than just, me going to sit in my car and listening to your music. I can do that all I want. And I don't want to hear you trying to compete with your song.
Mhm,
I want to
exactly.
hear you. Like I want to hear the song because you get like the echoey, double feedback experience when somebody's trying to rap to their lyrics.
Yeah.
So it's like I would like to hear you.
Yeah.
You know, and I again I get if it's like a really fast song and maybe you need to, you know, like, live is just a whole other beast.
Yeah.
And you need just like spacers, fillers to, you know, help you catch up and catch a breath because it's, you know, a lot faster.
Yeah.
I get that, but like to have your whole verse is just,
Yeah.
you know, I just think like I remember when I first started, I was like, let me do my research. Like, how do people do it? You know, but again, I respect people. You know, if you're just starting out and you're trying to get a feel for it,
Yeah. There's levels.
you know, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think there's definitely levels. But there's some people I'm like, bro, I've been seeing you do this for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time we step away from the support of your vocals because it's just, again, I want a new experience with each and everything. Music video, I want a new experience. Live performance, I want a different experience. The actual record, I want a different experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like each of those pieces that comes with your song, I want a different experience. It should be.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But when you know, when you're doing the same thing, it's kind of
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless you're shooting a music video and like, you know, you want to get like a live, you know, just live thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but like I would tell people like beforehand, like, hey, this is for a video.
Yeah.
You know, everyone go crazy. Like, so that way, if you hear the vocals in the back, it's not me being lazy. It's for a music video. It's for stinking purposes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's you know, fair too. Yeah, I've been at a couple shows where they're like, hey, we're gonna, you know, shoot this music video, and yeah, you do hear it, and the quality might not even be, you know, they might actually, you know, have the actual song, like the song version, like not even like a performance track or something, and it's like, all right, well, you know, at least it's for a music video. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've done that before. I did my song Hoodie Season. This was like years ago, which is crazy because people are still using it on TikTok to share hoodies.
Nice.
Because like they'll be like a lot of like people who sell hoodies. They're like, "Dang, welcome to the hoodie." I'm like, "Yo, let's go!" Because I get notifications and it's like so and so used Hoodie Season on their video, and I'm like, "Yo, bet." But yeah, we actually did this song twice. We had the vocals twice, but we literally just like we performed the whole song. We got some footage, and then we're like, all right, we're gonna do it again.
Oh,
did
really?
it twice, you know, just to get different angles and stuff. And then this was like back like Carla Rose days.
Okay.
Back in up in Pelham.
Yep. I've been,
Yeah, long time ago, and we did that twice, and then I did a couple other songs, but I was like, yeah, we're just trying to, because we had two versions of the song too. We had like an actual video, which was crazy. So we shot Hoodie Season in the middle in May, and it was probably like, I don't know, 75, 80 degrees as we're filming Hoodie Season.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sweating buckets. I ended up getting this like thin, like J.Faith hoodie because I knew it was gonna be hot. But I was like, Rome and Silly Grin, they both had like full-fledged hoodies on. I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys, that we're filming this in the middle of May to do Hoodie Season. But we did it. So we had like the regular version, and then we did like the live performance version.
So was it two different tracks when you did it, or no?
No, it was the same. Okay. It was the same. We just we were shooting with Dramatic. And he was just like, yeah, I think, you know, you guys have a show. I think because we were all performing at that show. Oh. So he was like, hey, like, I'm down to put, like, a performance of the same song.
Gotcha.
But I think it would have been cool if we could get so if we had performed it without the backing and had the audio from the actual performance. And then attached it to it. I think that would have... Again, giving it a little bit of a different feel versus just having two separate videos with the same exact sound.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I've always wanted to do a live album.
Oh yeah.
You know, something that you perform, you know, and you hear like that stuff. You know,
with like a live band too, or
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, 100%. That would definitely be like the added bonus to it. But you know, like you go on, you know, well, I use Linkin Park or Oh, we'll use Linkin Park as an example. Like they're like, "Oh yeah, we're live from Houston," and like you hear like them in concert.
I see what
type
you're
of
saying.
thing.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do something like that. We just gotta figure. I mean, I kind of know how, but it's just setting it all up and doing that. But I think that would be cool. Something different. I don't think a lot of people do that, especially in hip hop.
Yeah, I was gonna say hip hop album.
I know rock. You know, you get your rock and your singers or R&Bs or whatever that'll do it, but not so much. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm just ill informed with it, but
I'm not aware of like an actual like album that's like straight up live, like hip hop. I mean, I'm sure it exists, but
yeah. That might be next. That might be my next little, maybe for my next album. I'm gonna have to cut this part out so nobody sees it, and I can't keep it for myself. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into shows. I'm looking for some shows. You've been running some shows. You got open mic that you guys just did, which is pretty cool, right here in Lowell.
Yeah. Sean Patel, he had a series called Express Yourself, which was like an open mic thing, and he was doing it, I believe, 2 years ago he started it, and it was, it was more of an open mic thing. He was doing it at in Lynn, and then he kind of took a break from it because, open mics and recurring events can get exhausting, but he wanted to bring it back because it was his birthday in April. So I helped him plan out the show, and it was good. It wasn't really necessarily an open mic. I did like a beat set and everything. We had people rap and all that, but we had actual we had Ghost in the Machine. Yeah, we had Just Jill was there. Like just a bunch of people. I'm probably drawing a blank on half the people right now, but it was a good show. It was a good turnout. It was up here in Lowell, so it was like a lot of different people that I hadn't seen in a while. Because sometimes when you do, stuff away from your normal area, you start seeing people pop out. But it was a really good show. We celebrated Sean's birthday. We had cake, which was nice.
There you go.
Can't complain.
Can't go wrong with cake.
Yeah, can't go wrong with cake. But that venue, that was
Taffeta?
No, it's
No.
God, I'm drawing a blank on it now. It used to be Uncharted, and now it's
yeah.
now it's something else.
They keep changing that place, and
Yeah.
it's like frustrating.
Yeah, because the last time I had been there, it was Uncharted, and I did a show with Kyle Goldstein and Zafir, and this was years ago though.
I think I was there for that.
Could have been. Yeah, this was a while ago.
It was, but I think it was something else before it was Uncharted. It was Uncharted, and then I think it was something else after.
Yeah, I'm sure it's changed a few times. I've noticed that, especially up in the Lowell area. I've seen some venues that I was like, oh, like the first show that I ever put on was that Hip Hop Halloween show back in, I want to say 2016, and like that, I don't even remember what that was called, and then it changed to something else and something else. Drawing a blank on what it was.
Oh, Thirsty First.
Thirsty First, yes.
Okay, so Thirsty. So and that was a spot that moved. I didn't realize that they moved. I thought that they just closed.
Okay.
Because they were originally, I mean, theoretically, like just as you enter downtown near the Dunks that's over there. And it wasn't a bad spot, but it was like really small for like performances. I think Acrobatic went there.
Oh, okay.
Performed one time. I ended up showing up. No Gimmick was there. I think it was that night No Gimmick was performing.
Yeah, I was there.
It was when Murph, I think, first pulled out the Hawaiian shirt. Like the bright blue Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. For that show. That was...
There was Luke Yetton, I believe.
Who?
Luke Yetton.
Yeah.
Was he there?
I think so.
I feel like I might have been at that show, actually.
You might have been.
Do you know who was hosting it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like I might have been at that show though, because I remember Acrobatic up in Lowell. I feel like that was the venue I saw him at, and some other people.
Yeah, it was a very low key show, but it was a cool show. All right, so we got so Thirsty. So then they moved it like to the other side of the beginning of downtown.
Okay.
Like the other entrance into downtown. So you had Slipwax,
Yep.
I'm assuming, Just Jill, as you mentioned, Mr. PSA, Rael, if I'm saying that
Rael,
correctly.
Yeah, she's actually up this way, maybe even in New Hampshire. I'm surprised you haven't seen her now.
Maybe I might have seen her,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just
There's so many people out there, like
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
years, like we've been doing this for a long time, so like you see people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've
like
run
respectfully.
We've met like
respectfully.
over like probably like 200 people.
Yeah. And I just suck at names, so
same.
like she could have told me her name, and then 5 minutes later I've been like, no, I got nothing.
Yeah. So if we've ever met before, we see you.
We apologize, but I'll speak
And
for
what up?
myself.
Big shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
And I'll speak for myself. My memory sucks with names.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask my wife. Death Over Simplicity.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nita Slay.
Yep. Need to
Just
say.
make sure. Cole Kwan.
Yep. Oh yeah, you know Cole.
I know Cole Kwan for sure. Ghost of the Machine you
Mhm.
mentioned. Dorothy Whitfield.
She's a comedian, but she got sick that day. Yeah.
That would have been a cool. I love when there's like a good variety of stuff in a show.
So Sean's he's very big into comedy. So when he was doing the open mics in Lynn, he almost always had like a comedian. And Dorothy actually headlined one of the, because it was mostly like an open mic with like a headliner, and Dorothy headlined once, and she's hilarious. She was like roasting the venue itself, because it was like a small little coffee shop, and it was hilarious. But
Nice.
no, she's very funny. I was definitely hoping to see her there, but but yeah,
Happens.
but Sean has a good network of comedians, so we had some comedians like at some of his other open mics, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good, I need to go out there and watch more live comedians.
Yeah, we had Casey. Casey came on. What's his name? Oh man, now I feel bad. Again, I'm telling you,
I know.
I said it before.
I'm bad with names too.
Let's see, Casey, where are you, my friend? Where are you? I'm in the right area too. I'm glad I left this open. AK Vincent, Caleb, Merrick. Dang, that's crazy. I'm just like going through the list. Cynical, Just Chill, first time. Casey Woods. Shout out to Casey Woods. He was pretty funny when he came on the pod. And then we also had, I'm just shouting these names out in case anybody wants to hop on. And Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes sounds familiar.
I know there's like a Shawn Mendes,
Singer.
the singer.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But his name, I'm pretty sure his last name, we put it down as Sean M, but I'm pretty sure his last name is Sean M. Mendes. He came on. He was pretty funny. Cool guy. So, yeah, like I said, I love when there's a good like diversity in shows.
Yeah.
Because like you said, with putting on shows, it can get a little exhausting, and sometimes when you're going to shows in general, hearing kind of the same sound over and over and over again is like can be kind of exciting. You're like, okay, it's like, all right, here's another hip hop show, and I love hip hop. I'm not trying to like knock hip hop shows, but I don't know. There's something to the diversity of it. Like even if you have like R&B in hip hop or like comedy in hip hop, or a good mix of stuff.
Actually, the show actually did open with one comedian. He wasn't billed because he was kind of like going to be like the open mic like section of it.
Yeah.
So it was good to have that. And then at some of the other shows, I think there was comedians like in between, kind of like you said, to kind of break up like the repetitiveness of straight up like hip hop nonstop. But I think Sean did a good job with having a mix of like more of like the hardcore hip hop and then like R&B and stuff, and different styles of hip hop where even though it was a lot of hip hop, but it was like we had singers, rappers. I did a beat set to kind of break things up. But yeah, it was a good time. I hope we do another one eventually.
Yeah,
right now, I'm
for sure.
not in that mindset to really plan any events, but you never know.
Yeah. You always got to be in the right mindset for that stuff, because if you're not, it's never gonna work out the way that you want it to, and then you're just like, man. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I really don't. I mean, I know you would still care either way, but
yeah, I always try to put a lot of effort into every event, and that's the thing. I think I'm so much of a perfectionist with everything I do that, beats, whatever it is, I spend more time like trying to perfect it than actually just enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. We just dropped a song.
Yeah,
theoretically. Shout out to Turntable Teachers. Called Going On with Amir Maxx.
Yep.
Super excited to finally have that out.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear the whole project. I know that they've been dropping a couple singles and stuff.
Yeah, kind
for
of just sprinkling it out there, like in waves instead of, one big release.
Yeah. Because that would have been, with everything that is on that project, because I've seen, we've seen a lot of the artists and stuff that are on this thing. I think that would have been a lot to absorb.
Right.
And I think I like what Mike is doing. Shout out to Mike over at Turntable Teachers. I like what Mike is doing in allowing, each of the artists that are on the individual songs to kind of have their own shine and spotlight.
Exactly.
Versus, because let's be honest, again, maybe I'm just probably speaking for myself. But like if you were to drop like that whole album and like you send it out, there could be a lot of people that are like, oh, I only like this artist.
Yeah.
So I'm only going to listen to these songs. I'm not going to try some of the newer ones that I maybe don't hear. And that's respectful. I mean, I used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
I would listen to even main CDs that, from higher up artists that I would listen to. I'm like, no, I don't know who that person is. Skip. Like, I'm just automatically skip it. And then as I got older and appreciated music a little bit, even more, I was like, wow, these songs are fire. I'm so dumb for skipping these songs. But yeah, I think Mike's doing a good job of kind of separating them a little bit to let each song and artist and producer as well, kind of have their moment versus maybe potentially getting overshadowed.
No, I agree. I think it is a good way to do it. I think originally maybe we all thought, at least I thought, it was going to just be like one drop. And I think I do agree. Like, if it came out all at once, people would maybe only go to someone they knew, or, you might not, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely like this way because, like you said, our song came out and now all the focus is on that, and it's pretty cool. And then it makes me like, check out the next one, and anybody who knew, maybe just say if they just knew me or just knew you, now they're tuned in for like the next song, and it's like, okay, and they might discover people they didn't know because like, they weren't tuned in before. I don't know.
Right. I think with each song there's like a connector that allows people to connect to other things. Like you said, like if people know who you are, but they've never heard of me, they're like, yo, like I definitely rock with a JayPluss B. Let me check this out. Oh, Amir Maxx is on there. Yo, that song's fire. Like I've never heard this dude before. Like the song's dope.
Right.
Or JayPluss. It's like, whoa. So it gives. I love that stuff, and I love what Mike is doing. And then because it reminds me. So I don't know if you saw, we had a meeting. What was it? Was it April or March? It might have been the end of March, where we met up with Mike at AOA Studios. We met up with Mike. We met up with probably a handful.
I think it was like the end of February.
Yeah.
Like end of February.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Early March.
Yeah, damn, time flies. Time flies. So we met up with probably a handful more of podcasts. And because it just reminds me of this kind of just the same system. And what we did is like, hey, like we're in to work and connect with each other to help each other grow. Yeah. We're trying to make those connections just like we do with the podcast, connections to conversations. And so we kind of put together this mass podcast network. We started a podcast network where, and I could share it with you after as well too, but it was just a way for guests to be able to,
like a press
kind
run?
of bounce around, do a press run. Yeah. If somebody comes up and is like, hey, even somebody big name, that, is like, hey, like I want to jump on Turntable Teachers. I've heard you have, Term and Annoyed and all these like kind of higher profile artists on. Like I would definitely love to come on. And then he's like, hey, I have, Boston Big Four, and I have this podcast, Say That podcast, and I have the Right Mind podcast. If you want to do a whole press run while you're here, here's some great podcasts that are down to network and are, reputable podcasts that, will, you'll have a good experience with. But it's also for us as podcasters to, which now that I think about it, I got to update the spreadsheet. Thank you for that. But what it is for the podcasters too is it gives us kind of a network too of like, so if Mike over at Turntables has Term on. And I'm like, dude, like, how do I get in contact with Term?
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's a way that you can get it, or like you have to go through this person or this, or whatever. It's just a way for us to be, listen to the episodes, get some feedback on that guest as well, and then
That's true,
also, and then for us, like we were talking about earlier, I don't know if it was on air or off air, but for us to do our research so that if you just went on with Mike and then you come on over here, well, I don't want to have the same conversations that you just did with Mike. Let's make it something different. So, making sure that we avoid that kind of scenario as well, too. And we can kind of gear it a little bit more in a different direction. Or be like, hey, like, I remember you said something on Mike's. I'd love for you to, like, kind of expand on that.
Yeah.
Because I had some questions about it, type of deal. So, I like that. So to kind of bring it home is, I just like how Mike has been very supportive of bringing communities together to do a great thing. And I think like Mike, Bridgeside Cypher, us as a podcast, all the other podcasts that are part of this network, like it's such a beautiful thing to see people that are, and despite how this world is right now, trying to bring people together versus kind of just separating, like we talked about earlier, of just like, oh, like your raps are whack. Let me kick you in your back.
Oh.
Bars.
Right.
That's my freestyle.
Let me dunk
There
on
go.
you like Shaq.
But yeah, it just made me think of that. But so, check out the Mass Podcast Network. We'll definitely look to, expand it in the future.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, this is an official name.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got official name. We got a logo. We got everything. Yeah.
I have not seen this yet.
Yeah.
Is it like out there?
I don't think we've we've kind of kept it like internally so far. But it's definitely something like, we're looking to kind of expand on as we move forward in doing, like whether it's like events or, the Right Mind podcast goes on another podcast or, and just those collaborations as well too of just, kind of just bringing people together.
Yeah. That's like my biggest thing in all of like hip hop, like why I love being a part of it is to try to bring people together. So to hear that is super dope, especially now knowing, okay, like the podcast people are like getting together too. It's not just like the promoters, or just like certain artists. Like that's good. I like to hear like there's a whole network now. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, even promoters, like you're not, yes and no, but you're not like taking business away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, especially if it's something, a promoter in Mass, a promoter in Connecticut, a promoter in Rhode Island. Yo, let's build a network so that when an artist comes, if he hits one of us, the others are potentially able to get fed too.
Yeah.
Just off the rip. Just be like, hey, tour? New England tour? Hey, boom, 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 boom.
I mean, I think that's the way it should be. I don't know. I feel, I'm not going to get too into it, but I feel like that's how promoters should be. They should work with each other because it's not like one promoter is going to, do 50 shows, in a month. Like they're going to, spread it out, and there's going to be, if they're doing a show on a Tuesday and a Friday or whatever, they're not doing one on a Wednesday. Like, why can't a different person, do something? And there doesn't need to be like a, what do you call it, like a monopoly or something.
Yeah, or not blackballing. What's there's another word
gatekeeping?
For it. Gatekeeping. Thank you.
I hate that.
Yeah, just like gatekeeping. Like, no, like only these artists can come to my venue.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I mean, you could go a full extreme too. It's like, hey, like my venue is full the day that this person wants to come by. Like, go check out this other promoter that's in Mass. Because again, I understand the business. You start competing with people. It's like, hey, like I'm trying to thrive as well. I get it. But maybe it's something, hey, like if I give you a finder's fee, like, throw me like 20% or something. I know that's like a very far extreme. It probably would never happen. And what I mean? But like in support, you know what I mean? But in the sense of like, hey, throw me a finder's fee or whatever. And then the next time, like the next big show that you can't do, like shout my name out type of deal. But again, that's like a very far ideal utopian utopian world that we would have to be living in, I think, to reach that point. But at least building those connections through different states
at
the minimum.
and I've been trying to do that like as much as I can, not doing any shows or anything, but like, I created local hip hop events Instagram to basically bring people together, and have people be able to find events that are going on that they might not be a part of. It's for the people who want to go out and catch a show. It's for the artists who maybe are not familiar with that promoter or that venue or anything like that. So yeah, I've been trying to just do my part to bring people together in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what it's really what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Jeez Louise, it's been a long week, and I fly out to New York on Sunday. It's crazy.
Go to venue this and then whatever. Just go.
Yeah, what is it? You kick your right. You put your right foot in, put your right foot out, put your left foot in. Do the hokey pokey. That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of the name of it. Hokey pokey. We used to do that on roller skates. I never do it because I'm falling every time. It's like as soon as I stick my foot out, see you later. See you later. But yeah, I've always been just like, how can we just do this thing together? Like,
Right.
Give people a chance. Again, it reminds me of Bridgeside. It reminds me of Turntable T-shirts. It's like, let's give people a chance because you never know what somebody can bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
That, give them 2 months, give them 6 months, give them a year, and see how far they go because you open that door for them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I could see something in you. Like even that alone, people are like, yo, I'm gonna run for this.
Yeah.
And then, again, 6 months down the road, they're like, yo, you making some fire beats right now because off of that.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine what this kid can do in another 6 months.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
And like that kid more than likely is coming from a place that where like they didn't have any resources, they didn't know anybody, and now they have X, Y, and Z. They know so and so. They're doing whatever together and stuff like that. So
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It's like, so then homeboys making some fire.
So it happened for me. I didn't know anybody, and then I started working with you, and then started doing shows and met this artist. I met you, met a bunch of other people. MOCG.
Yeah, it can snowball quick. I remember like when I first started going to shows. Also, shout out to like Sean Patel because he kind of got me into like the rec shop scene, back in the day, which is another dope collective.
Yeah, for sure.
And back then I had no idea, venues, only knew certain artists and stuff. And then after going to like just a handful of those, I mean, next thing you knew, like I was like, wow, like there's almost too many events going on and too many artists like who are like, hey, come to my show. And I was like, wow, like it snowballs very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you just never know who you get to work with, and then that kid's making fire beats, and then all of a sudden he's like, hey, like you find yourself a producer, and then now you're you're one-on-one with a producer making all the music that you want to make because kid's like, yeah, I'm gonna throw you a bone. You actually believed in me, and then it's like, whoa, now you guys are making money together. But it's like people don't. A lot of people don't do that. They're just like, like, what's in it for me?
Right. Yeah.
And then they just move forward, and then you're just like, well, okay. But that's not all the music scene is, people. No. We are here to support on this side. That's what we do.
Collaboration.
Yes, for sure. So you did some updating, I heard. Yeah. You did some updating to MusicPluss, which I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
So, yeah, not many people know. I was going to make like an official announcement, but I'm like, is it really worth it? Because I just slightly changed the website. But over the last, I'd say like 6 months or so, I've been just rebranding and redesigning the website. I've had the website, it launched in 2014. It was musicplus.com. And the main reason it was that instead of JayPluss.com was because it actually had a social media platform at the time, and I was trying to have people like sign up, and I didn't want it to be tailored to my name. I wanted to like music, so I was like, it's MusicPluss. And so it had the social media platform, and I let it go for like a year or two, maybe less, and it just didn't take off the way I wanted it. I feel that. A lot of bots, a lot of spam. It's so hard to like keep up with that. And then it was a little expensive too, just for that thing. I was trying to make it really, this idea I had in my head that just didn't seem, feasible. So eventually I brought it, scaled it back down to like my own site, but I kept it MusicPluss for the longest time. And then eventually I said, why not just have it called JayPluss? Like I've had the domain for like years now. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to, I'm going to like redo a lot of like the back end stuff. Cause I noticed, there was just like a lot of useless code and like things. And I've learned more about coding over the years. So yeah, I just kind of, basically redid it from scratch. Like I actually like built it on a different, like I had MusicPluss running and then built JayPluss.com and then just kind of like swapped it. But yeah, it took about 6 months to really get it to where I wanted.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
But MusicPluss took about 2 years before I actually launched it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
It was, I'm not going to say how much money it was, but it was very expensive when I first launched it because I had, I paid a couple of people to like design it and do a lot of like the back end for me in the beginning.
Gotcha.
And at that time I didn't know anything, so I was willing to pay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but now, over the last decade, I've learned more about coding and more about, I've done a lot of like, I'm doing like SEO stuff now, like search engine optimization.
Yep.
So like my main goal right now is to like, you Google JayPluss and like I'm the first thing that comes up and like everything that comes up is like JayPluss related. So that's what it is right now, at least from what I've seen. Just trying to make it, I want to stand out. I've put so much into, the name and the brand. Like I treat myself as a brand. So, it's been a long process, but it's pretty much where I want it to be right now. So
that's good, man. And it's definitely beneficial to learn those things, like you said. Like when we don't know too much, like we're paying for the knowledge that somebody else has.
Exactly.
But then when you actually take the time, if you can find the time, because sometimes time is, it disappears. Like I don't know.
Seriously.
And
that.
Yeah,
dude, like it was just Christmas. We were just celebrating Christmas. We had just left the old studio, like. We were just at episode 50.
Wow.
Then 100, and then now we're almost at 150 again.
Right. Wow,
It's almost July. Like I was just at the conference that I'm going to in July next month. I was like just there. The trip I'm going on next week, I feel like I was just there, and it's already a year past. Like I'm about to have. It's been almost a year that I've had Nyla, our dog.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like because we got her. I think it's the 21st. Because I was on the trip that I'm going to next week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's already been a year. I'm like, dude.
I know. Yeah, like this Friday, will be like 6 months since I released like the album I did, like the one project I put out like under my name, Propane with RJ Payne, and it feels like because I've promoted it so much, like it doesn't feel like it's been that long. Like I feel like I've only done like promoting for like a month, and it's like wow, it's been 6 months since that dropped.
Yeah, it's like I dropped Apartments March of last year, I think. Maybe actually it might have been 2023.
That was 2023. Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't feel like it was
or 22.
I mean, unless time's really flying, because I remember that project.
Yeah, because I've done like just a couple singles. I haven't really dropped, but I am working on an album. It's making its way. It's making its way for sure.
Well, I was listening to one song you posted the other day. I know it's not a new song, I don't think, but
Testimony, I think.
Yeah. It was
because you know what I did? So that's what we did. So Apartments was 2023, and then Vinny and D-Rock and I dropped Break the Fall, the collaborative album, the top of this year.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of the recent project that I've done. But yeah, Apartments was 2023.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I remember like being like, damn, it's been 10 years and I still haven't dropped this album, and now it's out and it's already been 2 years.
Right.
Dang, time is cruising. That's why I'm trying to appreciate every moment, because there's been a lot that's happening. I won't go dark and dreary because I'm trying not to get to that point, but there's been just a lot of things that have been happening, especially recently, like stuff that I found out even today, that I'm just like, man, like I just need to like hug some people. I need to just love on people, let them know I appreciate them, thank them for just being here. And just appreciating every single day, because
definitely
it goes by quick, and it's pretty fragile.
Yeah,
I'll leave it at that. But it's been fun, man. It's been an interesting ride. I'm excited to see what's coming for the future for you guys as well too.
definitely.
For the marriage, for some other secret things that we won't say on air. I can bleep it out.
Yeah.
If you want me to.
Doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter. I mean, the end of the year, somewhere around Halloween, I will be a father.
Yay. Congratulations.
So that'll be a new venture. That'll be fun. Don't know what to expect yet, obviously, but
I feel that.
I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it.
You gonna put some headphones on her?
Yeah. I was thinking.
Or should I bleep that out too? Sorry.
No. I was thinking. What I'm most excited about is I'll get to that in a minute, but is all the toys that they have for little kids and the little music things, because when Mia's nephew was very little, we bought him this cat piano, and it had cat sounds, but it also played regular sounds.
Yeah.
But I'd be over there just messing with it, and
he's like, yo, I know how to work this thing.
Yeah. But so we've obviously been looking around at toys and stuff in stores, and we came across this thing the other day. You can look it up whenever, but it's this VTech Kitty something. It's technically for 5+. This thing looks like a better beat machine than I've seen producers have. It's insane. It's insane.
That's
and
cool.
and I'm kind of disappointed it says 5 and up, because I want it right away. I want to buy that thing and play with it.
You should just. This is gonna be so corny. I'm sorry, Mia. You should just cross off the 5+ and just put JayPluss. She's I'm done. This is JayPluss, not 5+.
I know.
Yo, I'm getting that. Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's funny. I always mention plus intentionally, but not related to I'll be if I'm talking about an age range, I'll be 20 to 30 plus or something. I always throw the plus in, or basketball. Oh, he's averaging 20 plus points. It always has. I always try to sneak that in just because, just for the hell of it.
Yeah. You nervous?
No, not yet. No? I don't know. I thought I would be. That's the thing. I thought a couple of years ago, which is why I think, I was do I want to? I do want to do it, but when?
Yeah.
And oh no, how am I gonna take care of this financially? How am I gonna do when am I gonna have time to do this and that? But now I'm at a point it's happening, and I'm just no, I think we have it. We have it pretty much, taken care of. Financially we're good. If there's babysitting, my dad's retired, her parents are about, her dad's about to retire, so we have people to right there who are, if we both are struggling, if we both have to work or whatever. But no, I'm just mostly looking forward to the music part. I really, it might sound weird, but I really just want to I also just want to mess around and make little kid beats and stuff, and maybe when she's a year or two old and can appreciate it, it's oh wow, just playing along, and I don't know.
She's gonna have a little DJ set.
Yeah.
Little,
definitely.
Toy DJ thing.
Yeah.
They have them too. I've seen them.
Telling you, it's.
I was going through because we were looking for something for somebody, and we were just going up and down the toy aisles, and I was like, "Yo, DJ set is fire for a 5-year-old. This is crazy."
Yeah.
I was like, "You got to get it for him."
And the thing is, a year from now, 2 years from now, technology and everything will be so much better. It's the thing I saw already had Bluetooth, you could pair songs to it. Wow. And and it had a little light, you could do a light show on it and everything. It was crazy. So
Baby Shark, and just do remixes to it.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I can produce the next Baby Shark type thing, just mess around and make some crazy little kid song, and they're oh wow,
yeah, right.
I don't know.
I heard a dubstep version to that.
Oh yeah,
it's fire. It slaps. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it slaps hard. And I was yo,
wow.
The kids hate me because they just hear Baby Shark, but I'm yo, this thing slaps hard.
Damn.
It's a good one. I'll play it after.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I'm happy for you guys. I'm super excited. I don't know what I would do when that happens, because that was the thought that came in my head. Not to be. And I'm not saying that you are. I'm
What do you
speaking totally for myself of being selfish in the sense of like, what does music look like? What does the pod, what does the pod look like? What does my work travel look like?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that something I'm going to have to stop? But then if I do it, me being me, I'm like, man, like I don't want to leave my wife with my kid, my kid for a week. It's hard enough with the dog, but then to have a child, getting them to daycare or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, I think once it happens, I think we'll be in the right space for it where it's not even going to be a second thought. It'll just be like, okay, yep, like cool, check. Village with us, and we'll be good.
Well, like for me, it's actually like gonna work out like in a good way because I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking the same way, like, oh, how is this gonna affect me musically? Is like, do I have to put everything on hold, this and that? And the way I see it is like, they have like paternity leave now, like for fathers. So I'm gonna be able to take 3 months off, like where I'm just gonna be home taking care of the baby. So like, but like I can do both. Like I can work on more music during those 3 months than I can right now because I'm busy working and stuff.
Yeah, true.
And then a lot of people are also saying like, oh, like, be ready for the baby to like keep you up all night and stuff. And I'm like, that's perfect. Like I can get so much music done in the middle of the night. Like I will stay up with the baby.
Right.
If the baby wants to be up all night, I will stay up and work on music with the baby right there.
Yeah.
While Mia gets to sleep, and then she can take care of the baby in the morning, and I'll get some sleep or whatever. But I don't know. So far, I haven't seen like a negative to it.
Yeah, for sure. He's just gonna start making some like soulful trance beats to like put the baby to sleep. And then, like, because, you tap into it. Like you said, you tap into that new market, that new kid song. So he's just going to start making, like, either trance beats or to put the baby to sleep, or just, like, fun kid songs so that the kid can, like, eventually fall asleep, like, tire herself out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, listen, it's a thought process. I'm just saying, think about it.
Well, you ever watch, like, 2.5 Men?
Sometimes.
Yeah. The main thing, like, you ever watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think Charlie, the main character, his big thing was he wrote like kids like songs and like or like melodies and stuff. That's why he was like rich in the show, I think. But like, yeah, hey, I'll do that and make a ton of money. Why not?
That stuff takes off. Sync licensing, and then boom. That's what I'm trying to look into right now.
Yeah,
is sync licensing. I'm like, I was seeing people doing it, and I was like, yo, that's like really smart. Because I was watching.
That's where you have to like send it off for like films and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's exactly what sitcoms, films, all just like ads, whatever it may be. Because I was watching the Shaq show. Again, terrible with names. It's on Netflix, but there was like a couple songs. Like Forrest Frank had a song in there, and I remember seeing them post about it, like, yo, like my song is on like a Netflix show. Yeah. And I was like, yo, that's dope. Like, I want to figure that out.
And like, there's somebody that Just for Kicks knows that like just got a song on like Ginny and
oh, my wife watches that show.
Yeah.
I just saw him post that
Ginny and Georgina.
Yeah. My wife watches that show all the time. She just finished season 1. She's on season 2 right now. That just dropped. Because I remember when I dropped Dad's Flow, like my vision was like, yo, like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater, like type of show. And some guy was like, yeah, like if you send like $2,000, like we can get it into like a game. I was like, yeah, it's very steep.
And like I don't know if you guys know John Bellion, but
the name,
but like his album The Human Condition was like purposely made for like specifically for Pixar.
Oh wow.
It's smart. I mean,
like it's sick. Like it's got all like the Pixar elements and shit like that, and like throughout the entire album.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And like had like Pixar animation and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's super fire. Yeah, I would love to, I want to figure that out because I do think I have some songs that could fit in certain places.
I could maybe, like, I don't want to say I could help you with it because I don't know a lot about it, but I do have some information on it because there's one producer named, I think he's rebranded since, but Gummy Beats.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Gummy, yeah.
Gummy Beats, yeah, shout out to him. I grabbed something off his site about sync licensing before because he used to post all the time. You know, he was in, you know, MTV shows, like ESPN shows. Like he would show like his actual like list, like not just like, you know, it would be like literally like every placement he got, and like went like the exact episode. And so, but he was like teaching it basically by like having some kind of you know, like some information you could like download and stuff. But I have that somewhere.
Yeah. That's cool. I think it's, I don't know, it's just one of those things. Because like that's again, those are things that I'm thinking of. Again, not to be greedy, but you know, just sources of income, you know, for myself, but also to a point of, I mean, again, me speaking personally, you know, would love for, you know, my wife to not have to work, you know, just because, you know, for certain reasons and things like that, but just so like she can go and focus on things that she wants to do, whether it's her business or, you know, if it is, you know, taking care of the house, the kid. Not saying that she has to do that. I'm not that person. But I know there's things that she wants to focus on, and I think it would be easier if she didn't have to work, and I would love to provide, me as a person, again, just me, would love to be able to provide those things, and also, you know, just do fun things, you know, be able to, you know, go on vacation or, you know, whatever, you know, and not have to worry about, like, if one of us is off, you know, do we have leave or whatever. It's like, you know, just living comfortably, but still being able to kind of enjoy things too.
Oh yeah. No,
Or if you both don't have to work, that would be like.
I mean, that would be the. I mean, if I could do podcasting, make music, and have a clothing brand, you know, that would be ideal.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we've said it before, and like if I could do just those three things, I mean, I love my job. Granted, don't get me wrong, I love my job. But like if I could do those three things and even live within the same means that I'm in now, or maybe a little bit higher, like I would be cool with that. You know, I don't need like millions of dollars. I mean, it'd be great,
right?
But I mean, who's gonna knock it down? I mean, some people might, but respectfully so. But you know,
it depends on the situation. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a hardcore gambler, like $1 million is probably not good for you.
Yeah.
But you know, just you know, if I could live comfortably,
that's always really been my mindset. Like I've never done music really for the money at all, but like if I'm gonna make money off it, like I would like to do, like I would like to just have what I am doing right now, like or you know, I don't want a mansion, you know, I don't want anything luxurious. I just want to be happy, be comfortable, not have to really worry about bills, you know, and then just do what I'm doing, and that's it.
Yeah, because that stuff, it catches up to you. There was somebody, I think we were talking about it. This guy's got like 10 grand in car insurance, and he's like every day he's trying to figure out how to make more money. And I'm like, that's such a headache that I don't want. Like I already have enough stress with just like normal living, let alone all the additional things that can come from, you know, a bunch of cars and all the extra bells and whistles, the mansion. Like I'm not cleaning that thing if it's like this giant mansion, you know, like this 40 rooms. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but you know,
40, man.
We in the White House.
That's like the entire state right there.
Nah, for real. But you know what I mean? Like the bigger you get, the bigger the cost comes
more money,
with
more
it.
problems.
Yeah, literally. So
I got 40 bedrooms. You know, I got 25. You know, garages. 40 cars, you know, some of them can't fit in there.
Parking them out on the street, like, no, I'm all set. Yeah, just want to live.
They probably cost like $500 million a month, easily.
Yeah, between all the bills. Yeah, so, just want to live comfortably, doing what I love. But again, it's hard because I really do love my job. So I'm like, something's got to give. But again, I mean, we'll see. Only time will tell.
That's just the top goal for all of us, just to be able to do this full time.
Yeah, for sure. Any final notes? Any final things you want to share with the peoples before we wrap up? I know we touched on a lot, man. This is super cool. This is super fun. I love it.
No, I'll just reiterate. You know, the big thing my big project that I've been working on again, which is the local hip hop Instagram page. You know, that allows artists to, you know, collaborate with the page and then, you know, share their events on there. So I've just been trying to create this, you know, huge network of hip hop events like across not even just the country but even the world. I've had some from like in like the UK and maybe some other places. But yeah, lately that's been like my big project that I've been working on, and I've been treating it like a full-time job because I started it in May of 2024, so it's been over a year now, and pretty much daily I get like a couple people like events, like so like it's just like this constant snowball of like just posting events, and again, what I want to do is just allow people to be have more of the spotlight on these open mics, artist showcases, ciphers, things like that. I think those are like very important for the underground, and the local, artists who don't get as much attention as, these big name artists. And then I think it's cool, like say like if you're traveling, for example, like this is the other thing I thought of, like now say you're in DC or something, and you're like, oh man, like I have this free Saturday night, like, and I wish I could catch a hip hop event, I'm stuck here doing nothing. Ideally my goal is to have like, okay, now you go on there and it's like, oh, like, this weekend there actually is something in DC, eventually when it takes off, when it's like big enough. But But yeah, that's been the big thing. That and the website are the two big things I've been working on recently. I don't want to say I put music, off to the side because I'm still working on projects with artists as we speak. But yeah, that's been my baby right now. Just trying to like make sure that I'm like working on that. And then actually, yeah, the one thing that's coming up is Beat of the Week. I do that usually second half of each year.
Nice.
So that's starts in July.
Remember
so
that,
I am still working on beats for that.
Sweet.
And yeah, I'll be putting that stuff out, once a week for the second half of the year.
Sweet. Looking forward to that. L.Y.F.E, anything? Any fun?
I've got one more announcement that I forgot to plug in before. I've got 3 shows coming up, all out of state. There's one July 4th through the 6th. I'll be performing on the 4th at Charlie's Hill in Lebanon, Maine, as part of the Kickback Fest. Make sure you check that out. Follow my page. We've got MOCG night July 18th at Panucci's in Concord. Concord, New Hampshire, not Mass. Don't go to the wrong place.
Right.
Concord, New Hampshire, Panucci's, July 18th. And then a few of us will be going to upstate New York August 15th. That
Sounds
weekend.
about right. Yeah. Sounds about right.
With Lone. So, yeah, just be on the lookout.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
We've all got a lot of shit coming, so.
Nice.
Facts. Yeah, I got some new music coming very, very soon. I know definitely in July I'll have some new music coming. Hopefully the end of the month I'll have something as well with a music video. So I'm super excited for that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a lot of, once that starts rolling, be prepared for a lot more stuff coming. So
Nice.
I'm excited for that. I want to say thank you to everybody that has been tuning in, and God bless as always. Shout out to everybody that is here. Shout out to Krispy doing the dad thing. Shout out to Cam. Hopefully you guys won your final game. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Minds of One Collective Genius as always. Shout out the team. But until next time, my name is JayPluss. We also got
Left on the Rise on it.
He's like, which camera are we on?
Yeah, I saw the camera on you, so I didn't.
And we also got
JayPluss.
Word and me in the background. Shout out to me in the back, Mia Plus.
Yep.
And this is the Right Mind Podcast. We'll catch y'all next time. What's up?